Hello all and welcome to Consulting Compass. Let's talk consulting. I'm your host, and today we're joined by my friend.
Thanks for having me.
He has 10 plus years in consulting, specializing in AI for top S&P 500 clients. Welcome to episode 2, where we explore the role of AI in consulting.
Excited to break this down.
Today's focus is a case from EY published in July 2024.
Sounds fascinating.
Highlighting how they tackled cost and value leakage for a leading Indian fiber cement roofing solutions company. Using AI, of course. We'll dive into the methods, the impact, and the impressive savings achieved.
I'm always curious to see how companies are using AI to solve real-world problems.
Right. And this case study is a great example of that. The company operates globally with multiple manufacturing sites, so you can imagine how complex their operations are.
Absolutely, and complexity often brings challenges, especially when it comes to costs. It's easy to get lost in the weeds and miss the bigger picture.
Exactly. And for this company, raw materials made up a whopping 80% of their overall costs.
Wow.
So even small improvements in efficiency could translate to massive savings.
Yeah, that's a huge leverage point. It makes sense why they would turn to AI to help them optimize their operations.
Okay, so let's unpack this. EY came in and built something called a digital twin. What does that even mean in this context?
Imagine having a virtual replica of the company's entire production process, from raw materials coming in to finished products going out. That's what a digital twin is.
Okay.
It's like a giant simulator that lets you see how everything works together and identify areas for improvement.
So they basically created a virtual factory.
Exactly. And they did it in a really systematic way. First, they spent time with the company's team to thoroughly map out every single step of their operations, every process, every input, every output.
That sounds like a pretty intense deep dive.
It was. They called this the process stage. And it was crucial because you can't optimize a system you don't understand right.
Makes sense. So what did they do with all that information?
Next came the technology stage. This is where the data comes in.
Yeah.
They gathered tons of information from every point in the production process and built what EY calls an analytical optimization layer.
Okay, now we're getting into the AI part of it. What exactly is an analytical optimization layer?
Think of it as the brain of the digital twin. It's a sophisticated system that uses data analysis and algorithms to identify patterns, trends, and potential areas for improvement.
So it's like giving their production process a serious upgrade in intelligence.
Exactly. But the technology alone isn't enough. That's where the people stage comes in. EY knew that for this to be successful, they needed to get the company's employees on board.
Because even the smartest AI is useless if people don't know how to use it, or worse, resist it.
Right. So EY provided extensive training to the company's team to ensure they understood how to use the digital twin, and more importantly, how to act on the insights it provided.
Now, this digital twin, it's not just a cool visual, is it? They actually used it to make real changes, right?
Absolutely. The digital twin was the foundation for developing their AI solution, which EY implemented in 4 key stages.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Tell me about these 4 stages.
First, there's the descriptive stage, where they visualized key performance indicators or KPIs across the entire value chain. They essentially created a real-time dashboard for their entire operation, highlighting the most important metrics.
So they could immediately see if anything was going off track.
Exactly. But it wasn't just about identifying problems, it was about understanding the why behind them. This led them to the diagnostic stage.
And how did they go about diagnosing the issues?
They used something called a driver tree approach. It's like a detective using clues to solve a case, but for manufacturing efficiency. They would systematically break down a problem to find its root cause.
I'm starting to see how powerful this could be. You're not just treating the symptoms, but getting to the heart of the problem.
Exactly. Now think about this. What if you could not just diagnose problems, but anticipate them?
Wow.
That's where the predictive stage comes in.
Okay, tell me more about that.
They leveraged the data from the digital twin and used algorithms to simulate different scenarios. It's like having a crystal ball for your business. They could run simulations and predict what might happen to their production based on different factors.
That's pretty amazing. And that takes us to the final stage.
The prescriptive stage. This is where they take all those predictions and use something called genetic algorithms to recommend the best actions to take.
So the AI is actually telling them what to do to save money and improve efficiency.
You got it. It's like having an AI consultant working alongside them, providing data-driven recommendations. It's a pretty incredible system, and it delivered impressive results.
Okay, so let's get to the good stuff. What kind of impact did this AI solution actually have? Remember that 80% raw material cost we talked about earlier?
You bet. Imagine having real-time visibility into your raw material consumption. That's exactly what the solution provided. It allowed them to immediately identify and address any inefficiencies or waste, rather than waiting for a quarterly report to show a problem.
So they're not just reacting to issues, they're proactively preventing them.
Exactly. And that's where the predictive capabilities really shine. They can simulate the impact of, say, using a different supplier for a certain material or adjusting production schedules based on anticipated demand. That kind of foresight is invaluable, especially in today's volatile market.
I bet. It sounds like this AI solution was a game changer for this roofing company. But I'm also curious, what does this mean for businesses in other industries? Is this something that only works for large-scale manufacturing?
That's a great question. While this case study focuses on manufacturing, the underlying principles are applicable across a wide range of industries. Think about it at its core. This is about using data and AI to gain a deeper understanding of your operations and make better decisions. You could apply that to almost any business, right?
Okay, I see where you're going with this. So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about how you apply it to your specific challenges.
Right. Take the concept of the digital twin, for example. It doesn't have to be a literal replica of a physical factory. It could be a virtual representation of a supply chain, a customer journey, or even a complex financial process.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, you're saying that any business with complex operations could potentially benefit from this type of approach.
Absolutely. Imagine a digital twin of a hospital that helps optimize patient flow, allocate resources more efficiently, or even predict and prevent bottlenecks. The possibilities are pretty remarkable.
That's incredible. It really makes you think about the potential for AI to solve real-world problems. And it's not just about automating tasks, it's about augmenting human intelligence and decision-making.
And that's a crucial point. AI isn't meant to replace humans, it's meant to empower them. Remember, in this case study, EY worked closely with the company's employees to ensure they understood and embraced the AI solution. It's a partnership.
It's like giving people superpowers, right? They still have the expertise and knowledge, but now they have this amazing AI tool to help them make better decisions.
Precisely. And, this company didn't just implement the AI solution and call it a day. They're committed to continuous improvement.
What do you mean?
They're actively tracking the benefits of the solution, monitoring its performance, implementing individual initiatives based on the AI's recommendations, and even onboarding vendors and suppliers to make the most of the system.
So it's an ongoing process of learning, adapting, and expanding the use of the AI.
Exactly. And that's a key takeaway for anyone looking to implement AI in their business. It's not a one-time fix. It's a journey.
It's about constantly pushing the boundaries and finding new ways to leverage this powerful technology.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
So this roofing company is seeing impressive results. They're committed to continuous improvement, and they're even bringing their partners into the fold. What's next for them? What are some of the long-term possibilities they're considering?
That's a great question. The case study mentions they're focused on enhancing the technological foundations of the AI solution.
What does that mean in practical terms?
They're likely exploring ways to integrate more data sources, refine the algorithms, and potentially even expand the capabilities of the digital twin.
So they're not just sitting back and enjoying the current benefits. They're looking ahead and thinking about how to make this even more powerful.
Right. And that's the mindset you need to have with AI. It's a constantly evolving field, and there are always new possibilities emerging.
It's like they're at the starting line of a marathon, and they've just taken the first few steps. There's a long and exciting road ahead.
Absolutely. And it will be fascinating to see where they go from here.
Okay, so we've talked about the digital twin, the 4 stages of AI development, the impact on this specific company, and the broader implications for other businesses. But before we wrap up, I want to bring it back to our listener. What's the key takeaway here? What should they be thinking about as they consider the role of AI in their work or industry?
I think the most important takeaway is that AI is no longer just a buzzword. It's a powerful tool that can drive real business value. Whether you're in manufacturing, healthcare, finance, or any other industry, there are opportunities to leverage AI to improve efficiency, optimize processes, and make better decisions.
So it's not a question of if AI will impact your industry, but when and how.
Precisely. And the sooner you start exploring those possibilities, the better equipped you'll be to harness the power of this transformative technology.
I agree. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to something as rapidly evolving as AI. Now, for our listener out there who might be feeling a little overwhelmed by all this talk of AI, what's one piece of advice you would give them to get started?
I would say start small. Don't try to boil the ocean. Identify a specific problem or opportunity within your business where AI could potentially make a difference.
So don't get overwhelmed by trying to do everything at once. Focus on a specific area where AI could have a real impact.
Exactly. Maybe you're struggling with inventory management, or perhaps you want to improve your sales forecasting. Whatever it is, start with a clear goal in mind.
So pick your battle, so to speak. And then what?
Then start experimenting and learning. There are a ton of resources available online, including case studies like the one we discussed today, that can provide guidance and inspiration.
It's like dipping your toes in the water before diving headfirst into the deep end.
Exactly. And there are plenty of tools and platforms that allow you to experiment with AI without needing a huge technical team. You can start small, learn as you go, and gradually scale up your efforts.
That's great advice. Start small, focus on a specific problem, and don't be afraid to experiment. Who knows, you might just discover the next big AI breakthrough.
You never know. The possibilities are endless.
Well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap up our deep dives into this fascinating case study from EY. A big thank you to my friend, the AI expert extraordinaire, for joining me today and sharing your insights. I always learn so much from our conversations.
It was my pleasure. I'm always happy to talk about the power of AI and how it can be used to make a positive impact.
And to our listener, thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery. We hope you found this episode informative and inspiring. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI.